So, early reviews of Rise of Skywalker are in, and let's take a look. We got some shills saying some interesting things. Here we go. Alright, actually in Photoshop here, because why not? Kind of like Photoshop. This guy, Anthony Bresnishin, says, when people talk about Star Wars, they talk about their childhoods, their best memories, the people they loved and shared it with. Rise of Skywalker brings back all those feelings, and then some. I absolutely loved it. And now I feel, okay, well, I'll take that with a huge grain of salt, but apparently this guy liked it. By the way, these are from Twitter, if you don't know, and the guy's certified. He's got over 10,000 followers. I'm not going to get into every one of their accounts, but these are people who are established on Twitter, put it that way. Christian Harloff, who we all know as a admitted shill pretty much, says, lot to take in with Rise of Skywalker. It is the big adventure, lightsaber adventure I hoped for. A few things I still wonder if it was necessary, but it was a very satisfying end to this new trilogy. So, Christian claims it's a satisfying end. So from what we understand is that Rey becomes a Skywalker, and Palpatine gets beat by Rey, and then that doesn't sound so satisfying to me. We also find out Luke's not in it so much. That's not so satisfying to me. We also obviously know that Anakin's legacy is ruined. Doesn't sound so satisfying to me. I don't see how that could be satisfying to anyone. Alright, Eric Davis says, epic, all of it. Rise of Skywalker is a terrific finale that is just stuffed with so much of everything. Action, adventure, answers, humor, heart, love, and grit. I spent the entire second half with tears in my eyes. A wonderful way to end the Skywalker story. Look, I'm sure there's probably a lot of cool shit, a lot of new droids, lasers. I'm sure some of the battles are pretty damn good. I'm sure there's a lot of eye candy, stuff like that. But at the core, the story sounds really messed up. But it's interesting hearing these first reviews. This guy, Mike Ryan, says, Rise of Skywalker is certainly the most convoluted Star Wars. There is a lot I liked, but the first half gets so bogged down with exposition and new plot and doodads and beacons and transmitters, it feels like it should have been 3 movies on its own, which is what a lot of us predicted. A lot of us were like, there's just too much to squeeze in this movie to make it good. So I'm thinking this guy's probably pretty accurate. You know, the thing is, exposition is not an opinion. Exposition is exposition. So when people say Leia and Han's dialogue sucked in The Force Awakens, it sucked. It's exposition. They're talking out the story. And, you know, for a couple that was supposed to have some deep history that we're looking forward to seeing get on screen so badly for decades, to have exposition is shit. So I guess we're going to get some exposition with Rey and Poe and maybe even Luke. You know, maybe even Palpatine's going to give some exposition. Well, I went into the unknown regions to rebuild my, army and fleet, and he's just going to say things. I am thinking this thing is probably going to be pretty bad. Can't say till I see it for myself somehow, someday, maybe, but, yeah. I'm going to guess this guy's probably accurate. Scotty Boy Mendelsohn. Scott Mendelsohn. Alright, Scott Mendelsohn, if you don't know, is, I think, one of the worst, biggest shills on the planet. However, he's saying he didn't like it, so I'm kind of surprised. But then again, he shills in a different kind of way than just saying the movies are good outright. He really attacks fans, and, well, he's a white dude. He attacks white dudes a lot, historically. Not so recently, but historically. At worst, I expected The Rise of Skywalker to be a well-made movie that I didn't like or whose story choices I disagreed with. I was not expecting a genuinely bad movie with video game plotting, thin characters, weak action, and endless exposition of no consequence, heartbreaking. So, he says it's exposition. And like I said, exposition is not an opinion. You can't be like, I thought it was exposition, and the other guy didn't. It's exposition or it's not. So, saying it's a video game plot is also not quite an opinion. Okay, maybe it doesn't feel like a video game to you, but there are definitely certain bland point A to point B formats for a plot that you could say is objectively bad. And if Scott Mendelsohn's saying this is bad, I'm kind of confused. So I guess in this rare case, I'll probably end up agreeing with Scott Mendelsohn on this. Alright, so now I want to look at what Mark Hamill said, and big shout out to Star Wars for Life. She's got a channel. I'll get to that, sometime soon. But yes, big shout out to her because she tweeted this and I saw it from her account. So Mark Hamill's face here is just really, he doesn't look excited and happy. Yeah, he's got a certain amount of excitement. He's at a huge movie opening. It's a night out for him on just like a human level. But like, as Star Wars excitement goes, it looks like he's just kind of like, meh, meh, meh. Alright, let's see.
Want to say to fans who are going to be heading into theaters and saying goodbye to this saga and this character?
Say goodbye. Oh.
I'm sorry. Too heavy.
Yeah, no, I just, like I say, I've said it before, but they're more than fans. They feel like family. So I hope they enjoy it, and if they don't, just keep it to yourself.
All right? Thank you so much, Mark. It's so
So if he really thought the movie was good, let's, imagine we're in a different reality here, an alternate dimension or something, and he thought it was good. Lucas made it, Favreau made it, Filoni made it, maybe they even called in some really, great writers and it was amazing. Mark Hamill would be like, yeah, this is what I always wanted to see. I can't believe it. I'm honored to be a part of this. I started this thing in 77, blah, 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 and he'd be really happy. Now you just get Hamill like, just kind of like very nonchalant, and you could tell he kind of doesn't really know exactly what he wants to say because he's probably learned his lesson with The Last Jedi and going around social media and stuff like that, so he's going to be a little more careful about his initial statements. He just throws out some, what seems to me as just some safe, bland statement. Anyway, you guys let me know what you think about this down below. I'm doing shoutouts, special thanks, things like that. Like I said, big shout out to Star Wars for Life. She's on Twitter. Definitely follow her. If you're following me, you'll find her. And yeah, she's got a channel too. We'll get to that some other time. I said that twice. I gotta go. It's late. I'll see you next time.
If you are not subscribed to this channel, The Entertainment Hacker, what are you waiting for? Smash that subscribe button now.